Namaskar and good evening to the viewers of Pandit Ravi Shankar Music Foundation. Hope all are fine. Today, before friends beginning the session of today, I would like to thank a god of the 20th century who is having his 40th death anniversary today, and he is none other than Baba Alauddin Khan, a man who initiated a distinguished legendary musician of India who cultivated, elevated, and transcended the instrumental faculty of North Indian classical music during the 20th century. Baba principally expertised in sarod, but also used to execute stage performances by rabab, sursingar, violin, and tabla. He has his musical lineage with the senior Senia Gharana initiated by the great Mia Tansen. He contributed for the development and progression of Indian classical music among subsequent generations. He was the greatest teacher and could shape a mediocre into an excellent and an excellent into a maestro. And that came as a resultant with like legends like Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, who took the Indian instrument sitar to the world platform and made it famous. So friends, we give our gratitude to that noble soul, Baba Alauddin Khan Sahib. And in continuation of the today's program, reflections celebrating our 100 years of one another than Bharat Pandit Ravi Shankar ji. Once again, today we are having a famous couple, Bharatnatyam, Padma Shri Awardees, Shri Pt. Dhananjayan ji and Srimati Shanta Dhananjayan ji, who are also the supposed to be the teachers of our Shukanya Shankar Mayam. So I welcome on behalf of Pandit Ravi Shankar Music Foundation, Shri V.P. Dhananjayan ji and Srimati Shanta Dhananjayan ji. Just there is a little bit technical problem with our guest side. It will be sorted within a minute. Uncle Pranam, Auntie Pranam, we welcome you. Your audio is not, yeah. Is it audible?
Yeah, yours is correct. I want
Thank you so much for coming to our show and sharing our memories with none other than Bharat Ratna Pandit Ravi Shankar ji. To talk to you in this session, I welcome on behalf of Pandit Ravi Shankar Music Foundation, Shri Gaurav Mazumdar, the senior most disciple of Pandit Ravi Shankar ji.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. What a pleasure seeing both of you again, even though I have been seeing you regularly now on this wonderful ads. We really enjoy watching both.
Absolutely.
But seeing both of you takes me back to those golden years. Wonderful memories of Ghanshyam, Delhi, and Hemangana, Varanasi. But let's go before that. Let's go on a journey because we would like to know when was the first time you met Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, you met Sukanya Shankar ji, and your relationship with them.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Our pranams to Guruji. Of course, we all seek his blessings, and it's a great honor for us to come on this portal and speak about that legendary guru who has inspired us, who has taught us a lot of lessons. So we want to share some of the experience that we got from their great soul.
He is a musician of this century, definitely. That's all I can say.
Yes, you join me in between.
I will.
A lot of very, very pleasant memories of Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, Bharata Ratna. And I also want to remember here initially when we got Padma Bhushan award. He and Susaganya were the first to congratulate us. And probably he was also instrumental in getting us recommending us for Padma Bhushan. Now, taking back when we met, of course, Sukanya was our student.
Yes.
That was way back in Chennai itself.
That was almost 45 years ago.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's when Satyajit, our second son, was born. I still remember Sukanya carrying him as a little baby on her shoulder when she comes to class.
Yeah, from London, she's sending her regards.
Lovely.
She said, Akka, Anna, my pranams to you, and really love you dearly. And she's watching, and she's sending.
Yes. We know how much she loves us. And through her, of course, we became very close to the family. But let me start. Right. It has been my dream from the Kalakshetra days when we were with Rukmini Devi ji. I've been thinking about Pandit ji, and I was dreaming of one day getting associated to him and do some work with him or learn something from him. That has been my very dream. But as luck would have it, God has been so generous. God has been so kind to us. It happened that out of the blue, we met him in London in 1976, first time, when there was Sanskrit festival, when his own cousin, Shankarji, which Shankarji is that?
Sachin Shankar. Sachin Shankar.
Shankar, yes, he used to conduct this Sanskrit festival in London.
I think it was Birendra Shankar.
Birendra Singh, yes, exactly. Birendra Shankar,
right.
yes.
Birendra
Right.
Shankar.
Birendra Shankar, yeah.
Yes, we were performing in the Queen Elizabeth Hall, and we didn't know that Pandit ji had come with Kamalaji also. But we performed, and after the performance, he just appeared backstage, and it was a big surprise for us and a big blessing for us. Pandit ji watching us and performing and coming into the hall, green room and greeting us, congratulating us. And that was the first sentence he said, "Oh, you look very much like my brother Uday." That's what he said. That's the biggest compliment. That was really taken aback. We thought that was a big blessing from a great person like that. And then he went on talking to us and how we performed, and then said, someday, I would like to do something with you. That's all. That was a great surprise for us, and working with him. And we never thought it would really happen. So from that day onwards, I think we have been somehow in touch with him. Whenever we come to London, he used to come and visit our performances. We came much closer to him only when we started doing a Jungle Book production in London in 1984. One of my senior disciples, Pushkala Gopal, who was the director of the Indian Academy of Dance, we were working. She engaged us actually to do a new production called Mowgli, Jungle Book, Adventures of Mowgli. That we were planning to do something. Then they asked us what to do because people are only used to the solo kind of Bharatanatyam all the time.
Yes.
But people in those days, Europe, they didn't realize that Bharatanatyam can be shown as a group production. That was the wrong message many people have spread. Except, of course, Uday Shankar ji has given group productions, very great productions, but those were called Eastern Oriental dance, and it's a combination of Kathakali, Bharatanatyam, and all other dances and all that, but not exclusively Kathakali or Bharatanatyam. But in this year, 1984, when Pushkala asked us what to do, and we were discussing, and finally we came to a conclusion: we will do a non-traditional theme, which is very very new to the Bharatanatyam tradition actually. Not no Krishna, no Rama, no Bhagavatam, no Bhagavati, or anything like that. But coming to a nature, a completely a non-traditional theme was suggested. We said Pushkala suggested, and of course we approved of it, and we wanted to do that. At that time, the Hollywood had released Jungle Book also, that animated Jungle Book production. But it is so that was very very popular among the general public in the world over. Then when we thought, so they suggested we can do something which is very common for European audience as well as Eastern Bharatiya audience. So at that time, Pandit ji was to do music for that.
Oh, how
He
beautiful.
was commissioned to do by the Indian Academy, and he almost accepted to do that. And also, he was very enthusiastic, and he was very happy that we are involved in that production. So we were thinking that he would do the music, and we were excited about it, whole thing to come out. But unfortunately, Panditji was very, very busy at that time performing his world tour and all that. Then he very generously gave it to Vijay Ragharavji, his prime disciple, Pandit Vijay Ragharavji. And so he came into the picture, and we produced it in London. And when we did the first program, Pandit ji was there in the audience, and he was so excited, so happy that he gave it to Pandit Vijay Raghav Rao, and he very generously spoke on that time, that how um, good that he opted to be out of the production and gave it to Pandit Vijay Raghav. That showed his generosity and the respect that he gave to even his own student. That is the character of Panditji. And then we were very happy, and the production went off very well. We had almost 200 shows in Europe, UK, and Europe, yes. And at that time only the Europeans realized that we can do Bharatanatyam with Bharatanatyam. Why I say Bharatanatyam? Because we engaged, in fact, it was Panditji's idea also to engage all the classical Natyam of Bharatam, that is Kathak, Mohiniyattam, Kathakali, Bharatanatyam, and Mohiniyattam. We had all those five disciplines engaged in production of Jungle Book. So that is so our relationship started growing, and then at that time he was thinking that there should be a mega production produced with us. That was been going on in his thoughts, and he was thinking about what to do with what theme has to be there. So he used to occasionally, whenever he came to Chennai, he never missed coming to our house and having a meal and all that. In the meanwhile, of course, Sukanya had established in London, and when we pass through, whenever we pass through London, Sukanya used to take us to Panditji's house, and he had an apartment and a hotel room, and we used to go there and have a chat. At that time, we realized how simple and humble he was. Such a great man with such a simple attitude, and also very humorous.
Very absolutely humorous, when he comes. He
Sense of humor, yes.
Yes, and he says, if he's famous for punning, so he'll say, that's why I'm called Pandit. And like everybody knows about this joke. And so that some of those qualities that we found in him was, he was like a childlike person. Uh, you forget that here is a great musician sitting, but then afterwards, you feel like a great friend who's sharing all the fun and all the jokes, everything that he comes out with. That was a great thing for us to enjoy from being with him. Of course, Sukanya added everything. She was there to add to the mirth and the happiness and the joy. So go ahead.
Yes, that's how we got so close to each other. And later on, of course, when he got married to Sukanya ji, we have gone to Delhi many times, and spent a lot of time in Lodi estate. And we went at that time only. He started thinking of doing a big production, a mega production, and and he used to say, what theme shall we do? Is Krishna, Rama, or Mahabharatam, and all that he has been talking about. And he also thought somewhere he was also very fond of Krishna and all that. It may be Shyam, and he spelled the name Ghanashyam, but we never thought that it's going to be a social theme. But one day when we got a call from Delhi, Panditji himself called us and said, yes, I am ready to do something, and tell me what the theme we shall take, and guess what I am thinking of. We thought of Ramayana, Mahabharata, or some other stories, Prahlada Charitam. We were thinking only on that line. But he smiled and he laughed and said, no, nothing of that sort. Guess. We couldn't guess what he has been meant. I have something that is very, very, very contemporary theme. It is, this drug abuse. Is it? What is that? Drug abuse in... Yes, it's going to be a social theme, and I have some idea. I have come across some folk stories, folk incidents in my native place, that is in Bengal. So that is, I want to share the story with you. So he started telling us this story of that Ghanashyam that you have seen. Of course, you are Gaurav was part of the whole thing also. So we were wondering how to go about it. Yes, I took it as a challenge. As we took Mowgli as a challenge in 1984, this is also another challenge for us. So I started working on, and then
especially when we came to know that it's going to be a combination of Kathak as well. And by the great...
Yes, I think the whole concept, Ghanshyam, the production cannot be complete without taking the name of the great Durga Lalji.
Absolutely. That's what we were coming to say.
That was another excitement that we had. Oh God.
We had the combination of both, Panditji, working with Panditji as well as Durga Lal.
And I still remember the initial rehearsals that we had at Lodi. you know,
Lodi
when
estate.
he was, working with the music,
Musicians.
and also we were trying to do, and how Raviji got up and showed me the actual action.
There are a couple of
I think some
very good
pictures are
photos.
there.
Pictures are there.
He's
where it is.
actually dancing, he's acting. But that's the day I was really amazed. My God, he's the real complete artist he is. You know how he stood up.
It's so amazing because from the whole seed, the concept, the idea of just drugs as the main theme,
Mhm.
and then to build around all that story, and then
And
two
then-
dancers, and then from scratch the music. And I'll never forget that day. I was lucky to watch when he stood up, leaving his sitar,
Mhm.
to help you in the choreography, and he was showing the movements which you are mentioning.
Yes.
It was just all an eye opener. We all knew he was a dancer as a child. He danced in his brother's troupe, and he did, but we have never seen him. We like you said, you saw him in a concert,
Yes.
but then when you meet him later, you see he is joking, he is asking about day-to-day things. So there was always an added story, added leaf to his book. There's something, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, wow. Then you turn that leaf, there is something more.
Absolutely.
So, Ghanshyam, we want to know in every detail from both of you, because this is such a
Yes.
important
Magnum opus. That
Oh.
is his dream. He wanted to do something like what his brother did, illustrious
yes.
brother did, and he succeeded in doing, bringing all the great musicians to the forum. Like
Only I've just dotted down here just in case I forget their names. I'm getting old now. I have to be careful.
Not at all. You both don't look it. I was going to say, but I said no, I should keep the nazar away. But now that you say it, I must mention you look to me the same. And the divine aura on both your faces. It's a blessing to be able to speak to you.
one thing before Santa says, Panditji had the vision as well as he had the charisma to attract all the best of musicians.
Yes.
So,
And
in
mostly
Dhananjayan,
his disciples,
yes.
they played a big role in the music.
And as I said, his generosity spread to all his disciples, and one great thing we found in him is he loved his disciples and appreciated whatever they did.
Yes. Yes.
We have seen that whenever he appreciated whatever you have been playing, and occasionally coming out with certain ragas or some gamakas and phrases, he used to say, "Oh, Gaurav, so nice. That let us keep it like that." That magnanimity we won't find in many of the
He was above everything. He was just every session, whether it was I definitely personally think Ghanshyam was a real high point in his creative
absolutely
career and his creativity.
Yeah.
And the kind of musicians, I mean, you name it,
Yes.
they were all at the top of their. Yeah, we would love to hear about them.
Vishwa Mohan Bhatt, Ronu Mazumdar, Ramesh Mishra, Vikramji, Shubho, Partho,
Shubhendra.
of course.
Subhendra
Yeah,
Rao,
Shubhendra.
yes.
And many more,
Yes.
I just.
Ashit Desai.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it
yes.
starts with Ashit, of course, and Hema.
Hema.
Of course.
Starts with an A. I always said starts with an A. Ashit Desai.
Ashit, exactly.
He was amazing. One thing I would like to share here is, while talking about Ghanshyam, when we were in Birmingham for almost more than a month, we lived together and we performed.
Delhi. In Delhi, we have a lot of experience of working
Okay,
the whole day. Yes, whole day, we all of us have been sitting together with Panditji, and it's amazing. Even at that age, so it was not age is no matter, but he would be there in on time,
Ah,
absolutely perfect timing, and never wasted a single movement.
never.
Always talking about music and always about composing how to, and also taking suggestion from you people. That's also something
There
very
is,
we
there
have
is,
experienced.
there is one thing I have to say. When you talk of timing, me and few close disciples, we used to always, because as you remember, Guruji was not on time; he would be before time.
Yes,
If the
exactly.
rehearsals were 8 o'clock, he'll be there 7:30,
This
7:45.
I want to remember here. This is how our Guru Rukmini Devi used to be. We used to compare both of them. This discipline both of them had. The great
But
people.
we were comparing. I'm going to tell you a secret today. We used to compare who's going to come first on the floor today, Guruji or the Dhananjayans. Because I remember you were staying in the nearby hotel.
That's right.
8
IIC,
o'clock, sharp 7:30, 7:35, you both would be fresh with tika and ready to be there. And we would always say, let's see, who is Guruji going to be out of his room first, or Shantaji? And mostly it would be you would arrive at the same time. And it would be amazing. And then as soon as Durga Lalji would walk in, and Ashit Desai and all that whole place would transform.
wonderful ensemble there we had, of course, working there together for almost 10 to 20 days, I think.
Yes.
We were in Delhi, we were staying in IIC, and we would walk down to to Panditji's house, and we had very good tea.
Yes.
And of course, sometimes we had breakfast also there. And of course, you always have the
And some
lunch there.
all
And throughout the day, we used to work almost 12 hours or even more. And not only that, beyond the time that we have engaged, Panditji will take more. He wanted to do more, so we had to extend our times. Probably you remember some of them would have gone already, but still he will say, you wait. I want to have something in mind."
Yes.
So he was all the time thinking about it, and only living in the thought of that Ghanshyam project. That's how it. Then, of course, after we envisaged and concretized the theme, and almost the music was ready, then we moved on to Birmingham next year. Almost took 2 years for us to complete preparation. Yes, preparation was very long and it was very good. So when we all met in Birmingham, for almost a month, we have been working almost 15 to 18 hours there. You remember probably how,
we go to the studio in the morning,
yes,
taking our lunch and breakfast along with us, carrying everything. And even there, Panditji will be the first person to arrive and be ready to
no,
meet us all.
sometimes we used to travel together in the same bus. He will be there in the bus.
Also
Yes.
shared, yeah.
And we were all staying in a flat with all of us, all the musicians. We lived like a family there, all of us.
Yes.
Though sometimes somebody brought some food from the hotel, but that was also we thought we will discard that, and we started cooking together and sharing ourselves and each items, and we lived like a wonderful family. That is only because of the leader,
Yes.
Panditji's,
Good.
how he brought our. In spite of spending so many days together, we never had any kind of discord. We were living very happily in spite of the hard work, morning going and coming evening, and picking up some vegetables and cooking. Shanta used to cook, and Ashit will, and Hema will step into it. They all wanted to have some rasam, and surprisingly, some evenings, and after all rehearsals and everything is over, we will get knock at the door even after 7 o'clock in the night, and slowly You can tell
Yeah.
how.
Panditji will be going for a walk along with Sukanya. And he'll be thinking of so many things. So, can I come in? Am I disturbing you? He'll say. And
He used to be very
"No."
apologetical, but
Yeah.
he need not be actually.
I have an idea now. What about this? And maybe you can do this here. And he'll start singing a swara or a raga or a passage, something. So, what do you think? Is it fine? Great. Like he just walks and he's all the time thinking only about that. His mind is fully about Ghanshyam, the songs and the positions, the scenes or the characters. I think he was just living that. So most of the days, when he has this walk after his dinner, he came
Walks
to
into
our
our
apartment and then have a small discussion about, what can be done, what can improve the scenario. So this was another thing that was so touching for us. Someone so great, just coming into your room and then sharing whatever he wants to do. And another great thing that I found was he appreciated a lot of whatever we did as Bharatanatyam dancers. Some of the items that we did, some tilanas and some songs that we would do. Of course, Sukanya was again, she was the
Connection.
the live wire in between, because she had already sung so many songs and he knew them all. You had heard it earlier. So he would always sit and say, so can you sing that song? Can you sing the song? I was so apprehensive, like I can sing, but such a great artist, and how am I to sing? No, it's okay. Then we will start singing.
He was very fond of Balamurali Krishna's.
There was one particular
Tilana, which he always.
Kuntalavarali Tilana. He loved it, and whenever I visited their home or wherever, and when we are sitting and kind of relaxing, he'll say, "Akka, can you please sing that Tilana?"
That means how he appreciated this other South Indian, Dakshin Indian Sangeetam,
that he loved it. And we had a session also with tabla around, and then we played around, and we had a session, and he loved those pieces, and then he appreciated, and like a child, he would react to the whole idea, and he said, you remember that Tilan? I don't know if you heard of it.
Yes, I have heard. Yeah.
Nadridim tadaratani nadridrito nadridridum dim nananatil nanadridim tadaratani nadridrito nadridridum dim nanana tajunu jonu tajonu tadim tarikatagatagadachum taritajam taritatil nanadridim dim tadaratani nadridritum nadridridum. He loved all those permutations and combinations. He'll ask me to sing it over and over again, and also talam. And
he would sometimes, when he was in Cincinnati and all that, he used to make her sing and all the tabla play.
That's when we used to have sessions.
To listen to her and do the talam and all that.
Please listen to the whole thing, please. If the program is on him, it would be.
I think I should take my Shruti.
Yes, please. You want a Shruti box? I can put what scale do you need? Okay.
It's okay. Nadridim tadaratani nadridritum nadridridum dim nananatil nadridim tadaratani nadridritum nadridridum dim nananatajondu timita jonuta timita tarikitagatagatacham taritajam taritatil nadridim dim tadaratani nadridritum nadridum dim nananatat tarikitatakadhit tarikitakatum tarikitatakanam tarikitakatil lananadridim tadaratani nadridritum tum dim nanan tat tarikitatakadhit Tarikita takatum, tarikita takanam, tarikita takatil, lanana driti. Tarikita takadit, tarikita takatum, tarikita takanam, tarikita takatil, lanana driti. Tadaratani nadridritum, nadridritum, dim nanana tat. Tarikita takadit, tarikita takatum, tarikita takanam. Tarikita taka tarikita taka tarikita taka tarikita takanam tarikita takati la nadridim tadaratani nadridritum nadridritum dim nanana takita tadinginatum kritum nanana dridritum nanana dridritum nanana tilla nanadridim tadaratani nadridritum nadratana dim nanana
Takita tadinginatum.
Takita tadinginatum dritum nanana takita tadinginatum dritum nanana takita tadinginatum dritum nanana takita tadinginatum tilla nanadritim tadaratani nadridritum nadridritum dim nanana takita tadinginatum dridritum nanana takita tadinginatum dridritum nanana takita tadinginatum dridritum nanana tekita tadinginatum mana tillana murali gana vinodamana tillana kuntala varali ragamana kuntala varali ragamana Samapani dasa sanida pamasa Samapani dasa sanida pamasa Jonu dimita tarigida gida tagada Jonu tadimita tarigida gida tagada Jonu tadimita tarigida gida tagada Jam tarita jam tarita jam tarita tajam tarita jam tarita jam tarita jam tarita jam tarita jam tarita til La nadridim dim tadaratani nadridritum nadridridum dim nananatil la nadridim la nadridim la nadridim.
He used to love this so much. He used to make her sing every time.
My heart is really going back to those days.
So Ghanshyam continues in Birmingham. We all worked together, and we had one of the best stage directors, Graham Wick, directing the whole thing. You remember how he brought water on the stage and all those.
I must tell something, share something here. When Kanta is my name there, like Panditji made Shanta into Kanta. The way he punts around, So she gets possessed by the spirit of Ghanshyam, okay? So we were trying to do something, and Graham wanted the real water on stage, and they were trying to find out how to go about it and all, and to make me look really, like yeah. What I did was I just let out my hair for some reason. They didn't ask me to do it. I just let it out. I opened up and then started to go here and there. Graham loved it. He said, "That's it. That's what I want. That's it." Just look, let my hair loose out there. So now how to do it? You're like, I'm having a bun here, and it has to happen naturally.
Correct.
I can't, do something and then open it. So we had to find out ways of how to make it look natural. But thank God my hair behaved well, so I was able to do that. So all this was a big drama. I still remember that particular, session of practice that we had. Panditji standing there, Graham standing there, and we are here and trying to organize water on stage and hair coming out and. Oh God, it was fun. It was really fun. So
I remember that brings me back to that episode in Delhi when he stood up and he was showing, I think he was showing, what was his name? Venkata Chalapati.
Venkatachalapati, yes, who
He
did
was
the
doing
role of
Ojha,
Ojha.
Ojha, yeah.
Ojha,
and
yes,
he was
yes,
showing him how to,
Yeah.
yes,
hang your hair. It was really,
That's where we realized how dramatic he was, how wonderful dancer he would have been. He was initially a dancer. When we go through
I mean, he knew,
Oliver
yes, he knew.
Oliver Kruske's book,
yes,
he has very beautifully brought out this book, Indian Sun. Of course,
yes,
he Bharata Ratna, Bharata Sun, the
yeah,
son of Bharata Desham. So the book has given a complete ups and downs of Panditji's life also. So people who read this book will know how the periods of difficulties in his life. As a great artist, he also went through a lot of ups and downs. That was very beautifully brought on by the Kraske.
yeah,
And when, yes, that's right. We read, yes,
Yes.
we are reading and we are asking everybody to read it.
yes.
Because this book is not
Well
only about
researched.
universal, he is a universal musician. He is not just a Bharatiya musician. He is a universal musician. He brought Bharatiya Sangeetam to the Western world, and he made them realize, he made the Westerners realize that our musical system is much profound than in any other musical thing. That's why the Western musicians started coming to Bangladesh and imbibe the music of the East, the music of Bharat. That's why, of course, he is Bharata Ratna. Of course, he is beyond even Ratnam. And that credit we must give. If at all today Bharat is respected and worshipped by the Westerners who
Other
look,
world.
it is because of Pandit Ravi Shankar. The respect that we owe, we earn from the other countries and other artists for our Bharata Desam is initiated. It is because of Pandit Bharata Ratna Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, definitely. And this story of Ghanshyam can go on, but I also want to share here another very, very unique and very interesting episode. When we were traveling in America, USA, performing, he, Sukanya once called us to Ensenada. He was there. And we wanted to go and visit him.
That was a different performance. It's not
That is, yeah,
Ganesha.
this is not Ganesha.
Yeah, this, yeah.
I mean, an incident, because I don't want to forget. That's a very great to show how generous he is. Sukanya called us and said, anyway, you are here, come, why don't you visit us? So we were visiting. So when we reached Cincinnati airport, one of his disciples, I think the secretary, an American lady who came to take us from the airport. She took us from the airport to a hotel, five-star hotel,
Yes.
Marriott. And then we said, why are we are supposed to stay with Pandit ji, but not in the hotel. Why are you taking us to the hotel? No. I will tell you that you come to the hotel first. Then we'll go to Pandit ji's. This was a great surprise for us. Then okay, we went in. When we went in, we saw all our posters there. Both of us, our posters displayed in the hotel in a big hall, the banquet hall. And a lot of people were sitting there, almost 2,000 people were there. And we didn't know what is happening. That thing was said, suddenly, they said the Chinmoy Foundation, US Foundation, Chinmay Swamiji, who is a weightlifter, Chinmay Foundation, they had announced the World Peace Award. And it was, as a surprise, our name was announced saying that you are getting the World Peace Award from Chinmay Foundation today. And we had no clue about it. And it was surprise. Then I said, how it all come? Then said, this was the award was supposed to be given to Pandit Ravi Shankar, but he said no. I want to you give this to this wonderful couple, Bharatanatyam couple, Dhananjayans, and they will come and receive it. He told them like that, and all kept in secret, and we were surprised that the world peace award which he was supposed to receive, he opted to give it to us. You can imagine his magnanimity, and no other musician or artist would think like that. So it is a great honor for us to get that. And also then, of course, we went and stayed with him for a couple of days. At that days, we have been reminiscing all the Ganashyam incidents and all that work we gone through Delhi and Birmingham, and the performances. Each performance we did in UK, every performance Panditji was there. Then having got the success of this magnum opus of Panditji, and there was a raving reviews all over the world, all the magazines, and all that. And then he wanted to bring it to Bharat.
Ah,
So we started working in Chennai. Panditji came to Chennai. He stayed in a hotel and stayed in a guest house. Yes, Sriram guest house. And then we worked, all the musicians were there, all the dancers were there, and we worked. And luckily enough, we got the Narada Gana Sabha, Secretary Krishnaswamy was very generous in giving the hall, the Narada Gana Sabha hall, free of charge to do the rehearsals every day for a month.
There was a slight difference in because we unfortunately lost Durgalalji at that time. So we had to, have Maulik Shah and Ishira from Kadam, Kumudini Lakhiaji's Kadam group came to.
Yes,
that was another change that we had, but extremely talented.
That change also came very. Panditji was very worried after Durgalal died. He was very unhappy, and he was thinking what to do, how to replace Durgalal. So he was wondering, and it so happened, God given, I happened to see a performance of Maulik on the Doordarshan. So I didn't know him before. So this boy seems to be very, very talented, and I was impressed. And then I immediately called Panditji night. He was, then I said, I saw a boy performing. I think he's Kumudini Lakhya's disciple, and he will be a good bet for replacing Durgalal. And then immediately I think Panditji called Kumudini Lakhya and asked her help for
the rest of the dancers.
Touring, yes.
So that they were a wonderful group who came to Chennai and worked with us, and we had long association of working together and understanding each other, and then traveling rest of the towns, like going to Delhi, Bombay, and Calcutta.
Calcutta, we had a raving success, as you probably know. We had 10 shows planned in the Ravindra, that Birla Hall, and then we had to repeat because of Panditji's name. And the success, the tickets were going on premium. So it was 10 days houseful, and then we had to repeat the shows for another 2 days. So 12 shows continuously. At that time, HMV came forward to record the music of Ganesham. The record is there. I think you know that. You also played at that time.
What a music. What a music.
It's a monumental music, of course. Whenever we hear, we are so happy.
I have a question here.
Yeah.
Somehow, as Uday Shankarji also, he was very, very, he considered Kathakali really a very scientific and of course an art form with a lot of aesthetics, but he also considered Kathakali. And Guruji also had, because Guruji was very, very taken by Kathakali.
Yes.
And I remember your initial discussions with him where Guruji definitely wanted your Kathakali background to be incorporated into Ghanashyam.
Exactly, yes.
Can you please talk about it? I think it's very important, very important. Of course, your Bharatanatyam background, but how important for him it was that you bring your Kathakali.
Yes. Pandit has seen me doing Kathakali in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, London.
Yeah.
So he, of course, he also, while he was performing in his brother's group, he had an occasion to come to Kerala Kalamandalam and get trained in Kathakali in Kerala Kalamandalam. Panditji had so he had that inclination and also love for Kerala food, love for Kerala art. So that's how he is enamored by Kathakali, and he knew very well. He used to show me the expressions, Kathakali expressions, demonstrate to me.
Yes.
So I was so fascinated.
Can you please give us an example? Because there were so many places, especially where he would show those facial expressions and gestures, and it was outstanding just watching. We were totally in awe.
Yes.
That he is doing we were really, it was for us an eye opener, really.
Yes. See, I can't demonstrate it now. He wanted certain things for me to do, so which I did in Ghanashyam. Certain exercises he used to do.
Yes.
This, Tei, hitta, ti, tei, hitta. So he remembered all that. So, and also when the anger comes, when we have to jump and do all that.
Yes.
See, there was one picture of Panditji showing me how to the anger like that.
Rodram.
Yeah, in Ghanashyam, when we are choreographing Ghanashyam, he showed me how to do that anger. That there is a pose like that. The Panditji's I think that photo is there.
Is there because he was also at that point, I remember, and I'll request you that also. The Navrasa.
Yes.
He felt can be so beautifully depicted through Kathakali and through those facial gestures. And he was showing and you were doing it. Can we see those the 9 sentiments? It would be absolutely. If you can just name it so that the viewers can at least have a glimpse of this.
Before I start doing it, I want to before forget, I want to tell, he, in the Ghanashyam, he brought the Sringara Rasam of Krishna and Radha in the Priye Charushile, beautiful Charugesi.
Nothing can be equal to that.
From Geeta Govindam.
Geeta Govindam.
And the way Ashit Desai sang it and made it so divine, so
Kirwani, Raga Kirwani.
Kirwani, yes. And for that, I was doing, of course, in a Bharatanatyam style, but he wanted me to show a little more Kathakali, add more Kathakali into it, and used to show me the Sringara. He used to show me like that. And he used to say, "Tom, you need a little more excited love. You think," he used to say, "you think when you started loving Shanta in Kalakshetra." That's how he used to say. So that
Sringara. Asya.
Hasya also he used to do it much better than me. Actually, he's Hasya. He is a humorous person. So he used to say, Hasya must be like
Hasya.
that. He used to show that, and of course, anger. He used to say, when I used to use this in this mudra, he said, no, in Kathakali it is not like that. It is.
Yeah.
He used to show that. So I used to do. I have to change from here to
yes, there. Yes.
Mudra and fear. Bhayanakam. There is also one picture of Panditji showing me Bhayanakam.
Bhayanakam, yeah.
And there is how
Bhayam, fear.
he made me do many time exercise it actually. He actually I learned a lot from him, the Abhinaya.
I remember the one which touched me the most, Karuna.
Karuna.
Ah,
And of course Bhipatsam,
Veeryam.
oh,
Veeryam.
Veeram.
yeah.
Veeram I used to do like this, but he said hold the mudra, Kathakali mudra, and you should show me. He remembered all that. That's a great thing. This Veera. So he showed me the mudra and asked me to do that mudra instead of doing just like that. In Bharatanatyam we do like that, but Kathakali it is more vigorous. And also he remembered some of the chollukattes, the ta kitatakita tak kitakitakita kitatakita kudi kuta kitan tak kitakitakita kitatakita kitakitakita. He remembered some of those Kathakali chollukattu or whatever mnemonics. So that is how.
You didn't do Adbhutam.
I didn't do Abdul.
Yeah.
And then Shantam.
Oh.
Complete. Shantarasa. Yeah. This the string. The Navarasa is here.
Navarasa.
Can I say something? Because it was so moving for me. And later when I watched him in concerts, after this episode, when you were discussing this Kathakali, he would incorporate that, that Shantaras of him having the sitar and playing the alap. And then he's playing something witty. He's with the tabla player trying to, give him a tough time, and the tabla player answering. You would see Harsya, you would see all the sentiments, all the Navarasas you would find in music.
Absolutely.
How beautiful it will come, because it was a treat to watch him just on the sitar, but it was a movement, it was dance, it was expression, it was abhinaya, it was amazing, absolutely.
And going through Oliver Crux's description and his narrating all these stories, it is amazing that Panditji has noted down so many things in his life. He has really kept a record of day-to-day incidents in his life. That's why he was able to make so much of reference to so many documents that he has left behind, which is something amazing.
Amazing.
And we came to know, of course, during the marriage between Sukanya and Panditji, there's a lot of some sort of ups and downs in his.
So, some negative.
Some it was in a fix or to how to go about it and all that.
Yeah.
And then the very amazing very thing is he confided to us how in Rimpa festival in Benares when we came. There only he really opened up his mind to us for and mind you.
Personally.
So I would like to say now, he asked, do you think I should marry Sukanya? And we said, yes, that will be the best thing that you could do, because you need somebody to. That is the greatest thing.
I think that's the greatest thing that has happened in his life, is to have Sukanya.
Absolutely.
She is, I can't say what she is to him, for him. She thinks he is the Lord, he is the child, he is the husband, he is the lover, he is the uncle, whatever you say, for her, it's a total, Sharanagati.
And for her, above all, the greatest musician.
Oh, yes. Oh, God. She, the way.
And I attended the wedding in Hyderabad when that ceremony was taken in a very simple way, in a small.
Outside Hyderabad in a beautiful temple. Beautiful.
That was very touching for us, for me. Actually, Santa couldn't join, but I was there witnessing the whole thing. And that's a very great occasion to remember
I
in his
think
life.
great blessing for us to have had the opportunity to
Work with.
Panditji and to know him that way. Of course, it's all through Sukanya. More.
Of course. She is writing some messages. If you allow me, can I read it for you?
Yes, yes.
Sure.
Because it would be nice to. She confirmed the name Birendra Shankar. And then she's saying, I learned this Tillana,
Ah,
the Kuntavarali, what you sang, in the green
Kuntavarali,
room for
yeah.
about half an hour and sang for Anna and Akka the same evening at the Round House in London. Just
Yeah.
before I got married to Guruji. And then there is another message. She's saying, in India, I read the synopsis in the beginning for every concert. Such wonderful times we had. And there are a lot of people watching. There are some regulars viewers who are watching, because this program, we are about to reach the 50th episode very soon. And it's amazing that when we speak to people, how much and how many people he has touched, he has made a difference to their life, how much of music and art and culture and laughter and everything he's given, sense of direction to so many people, disciples like us, a meaning to our life, music, so much. It is just amazing that one man, and
He was not only a great musician of the world, but he was a great human being with so much of love for everybody, love for man, love for animals, love for all. Every yes. So
we do look forward once the pandemic is over to all of us get together and in person celebrate his centenary, do something which he'll be
he's the
happy.
man of the century, and he's celebrating his centenary now. We are all of us celebrating. We actually, I am honestly telling, we don't. We think he's still living with us.
We feel him all the time. I know, that's why I said please sing the Tillana, because I have a feeling he's watching it and he's happy, he's blessing us. And I thank both of you for taking time out and coming and speaking.
Great honor. We consider
Thank
it's
you
a
so
great
much.
privilege and honor for us to talk about
I should also,
how we love.
I would
and
like
worship.
to add here to say that his legacy is, of course, through all his students, disciples, and especially Anushka, you
Yes.
know, was known her from the time she was born a little.
Yes.
So
Yes.
all love to her and
Just
to
yesterday she performed a beautiful concert at the Royal Albert Hall.
wonderful.
And she's got a great review today in the Telegraph, and she's continuing the legacy with a
Great.
lot of, I would say, beauty, a lot of tradition, what Guruji passed on, plus also a lot of innovation, what she's adding to the music and the sitar.
Great.
And it's a blessing that our family, we have Anushka, we have Chinnamma, we have all of you, we have all the disciples, and we do this satsang. For me, this is satsang, talking about Guruji, speaking about him and going through those, even though some of the incidents I was part of, it's wonderful to talk about it all over again.
Absolutely.
And
You
give the
live,
same amount
actually
of joy.
get back to live through those
Get
days.
back. And I look forward to seeing you all soon again. My pranam. Please bless all of us and stay well, stay safe. Thank you. Thank you.
So, and
Ashirvadam to all.
Sukanya,
It was nice, Uncle. It was nice sharing the lovely memories of none other than Pandit Ravi Shankar ji. Rather, I would add one thing that you were telling in this session about talking about as a Bharatatan. I would say that he was a Vishwaratan in the aspects. So it's Vishwaratan Pandit Ravi Shankar.
Thank you. Nabarun Shantaji wants to, I think, send a message to Sukanya ji and Anushka in London.
yeah.
She has also written that I did not only I learned not just dance, but life's lesson from Anna and Akka. So Kanya Maima is writing.
Always.
So
All
That's
our
very
love
nice.
and blessings to Sukanya, Anushka and
the
her
grandchildren.
kids and her children and grandchildren and all people associated with Panditji and Sukanya. Thank you so much.
thank you, Uncle. Pranam.
Ashirwad.
Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you.
Good night, Uncle. Stay
Giving us
safe.
this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Pranam. So to the viewers of Pandit Ravi Shankar Music Foundation, we will be just now after half an hour will be available once again with another eminent personality at 8 p.m. So please be tuned with us at 8 p.m. Thank you. Good night. Good night, Uncle.
Good night.
Shubharatri.